Welcome, Gemini and Gemini cross watchers, to your reading. So thanks for stopping by my channel today. I hope you guys are having a good day. So we have the Hanged Man, the King of Cups, and the Seven of Cups here. Gemini. I feel like there's somebody here that is, I almost want to say like about to cause a mess, or it's like this person is being given a couple of different choices. It could be you. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's you, so the energy might be flip-flopped. Or flipped, sorry. But I feel like you're kind of waiting to see what this person is going to do before you take a certain action. And I feel like this person is somebody that they kind of get overwhelmed with choices. It's almost like they know exactly what they want and they actually know what they want to choose. But I feel like when they have too many options, it's almost like going through each of those options and looking at them, pulling them apart and that sort of thing. It's like they really enjoy that process. It gives them an ego boost. So I feel like they're just looking at all of these different things. And I feel like the longer it takes for this person to make a decision, the more it tells you about them. And from what I'm seeing, I feel like the longer it takes them to make a decision, the less you respect them, or at least respect their opinion. It's almost this energy of like, you're glad that you don't have to make that decision. I feel like part of you knows that you know what you would want, and the other part of you is like, I mean, it's that Gemini energy, right? Where you can see things from someone else's perspective. You can see how it might be a little bit much, but it's almost like you're able to see that this person knows what they want and they're not able to see it. And I feel like that's where the like, come on sort of energy is coming from. I do feel like there's somebody here that is exceptionally, they're like really free. And there's something about them that you are exceptionally attracted to. It feels like they might have like an artistic streak, or like there's just something about them that's so free that it's like there's such a polar opposite energy to this Seven of Cups that it's like you may have felt you were more of a match to the Seven of Cups. You may have looked at that Seven of Cups as like just more of a match. And I feel like the longer that you're around that person, and how the cards were talking about how like their indecisiveness kind of makes you lose a bit of respect for them. It's almost like may not be specific, but it's like this person, the Seven of Cups, is taking a really long time to make a decision in order to give people hope to not crush their dreams, because they don't want to choose what they actually want right away, or it's going to make some people feel like, well, don't I have value? So it's like they're trying to make everybody happy. But in doing that, it's just like that's not something that you want to get on board with. And this one over here, they seem to be quite independent, quite solitary. They seem to be more of an match to your energy than this Seven of Cups is. Okay, so let's talk about this Seven of Cups person. Interesting. The five. So I always like give the cards a good shuffle and that sort of thing before I turn the camera on. And the Five of Swords actually came out in the pre-shuffle. Excuse me. I don't even know why we're reading on this person, Gemini, because I feel like you know that it's like headache after headache after headache with this person. And it's almost like you may be, it's like you're continuing to be around them or keep the door open to them almost out of like pity or duty, or this, I'm not pulling it in right. It's it's almost like you kind of don't want to leave this person to their own devices. You know what I mean? It's almost like I feel like you know that they could use your insight, but you're also starting to see that it's like they are smart enough to listen to it, but they're choosing not to because it's like there is a little bit of chaos that they want to cause here. Right? It's like that ego boost that the cards were talking about, where it's like this person likes people, they like people competing for their attention, for their time, for whatever it is. And it's like that's just not really something you can get behind, right? I also feel like you know that this person, if they continue to go down on the road that they're going to end up with no options, or with people. It's like the people that are going to be around them are going to be not good people. We'll say it like that. But I feel like you're kind of getting pushed to the point with this person that if they don't kind of get their head on straight, that you're going, it's almost like in the past you may not have wanted to quote unquote abandon this person, but with how things are going now, it's kind of like, well, that just might be where it's going at this point. So, can we get one more card for? Yeah, we have the moon reversed with the Nine of Wands at the bottom. I mean, it doesn't really feel like this is somebody that you have to be defensive towards, but it's like you just kind of see them slowly, not slipping away, but it's like your drive, your want, your need to be with them or help them or whatever it is that the connection is between the two of you. It's like how they're conducting themselves just keeps putting this bigger and bigger and bigger divide between the two of you until it's like they could come to you with an emotional plea and like in kind of an emotional mess, and maybe in the past you would have like genuinely felt empathy for them and you're able to understand that like they're suffering, but it's almost this energy of, I want to say like it's this energy of you tried to help them, they wouldn't take your advice, they wouldn't listen to reason, they continually kind of ignored the insight that you were trying to give them, and at this point, like, it's kind of their fault. The mess that they have created, I'm sure that there's other elements and other people and all that sort of stuff, but it's like at this point, you warned them enough times that, like, it's almost like they should have seen this coming, but because they were under the impression that someone was going to come in and, wipe the slate clean for them, they just kind of let it go on. And I feel like there isn't an emotional connection, at least on your end, it feels like it's a protective instinct. Like that you pulling back from this person is kind of a protective instinct. It's that almost like being a bit disgusted with their behavior. So, can we get one for this King of Cups, please? Yeah, you're not. I mean, Eight of Pentacles talks about putting in the work. And then we have Judgment there. I feel like it almost feels like you might just take a freaking break from everybody and all their problems. And listen, I know you guys get a bad rap as like, Gemini's a busybody. It's not like that. It's really more that like people are getting on your nerves. It's the energy of like somebody asks for your help, you give them the solution that you know that they want, but they don't want to do. And then they don't do it, and then they want to come to you and lay this problem at your feet that they should have been able to solve on their own with the advice you gave them already. And so I feel like that maybe it isn't consistent with everybody that you know, but I feel like you're noticing a pattern and it's not working. You know what I mean? And what's interesting is that it's you're intelligent and emotionally mature enough to realize that if there's a pattern coming in different people but the same situation, I feel like you're looking at it not from like, oh, these people are doing these things to me. It's really more like, okay, wait a minute. What is going on that this keeps happening? It's like you're taking control of, I guess, your life, your relationships, because I feel like you're looking at it like there's got to be something that I'm doing that I keep getting in this position and I don't want to do it anymore. Because like you're not even to the point of, you're over it. It just feels like you just don't want to associate with people that play that kind of shiz anymore. Like you just don't want to do it. It's too much. It's not even that it's too much. It's like you just don't want to do it. Anyway, so I feel like here's the thing, okay? From what I'm seeing, it looks like you're definitely not putting energy into anything like this situation. However, there's this other one over here. I don't know who this is. And, regardless of their gender, there is something that seems really magical about them. It's like the freedom that you may or may not realize you are on the path to having, they've already got it. That like liberated, I don't even know how to describe it, right? It's almost this energy of them looking at the world that they don't have to control anything. And not that you were trying to, but it's like people came to you and asked for your help. And then you took control of the situation, right? So it's like this person understands. And I just want to stress, okay, how the cards were talking about you taking control. You're taking control of yourself, which is the only thing, I know it's cliche, but it's the only thing that we are able to control is how because shiz happens to everybody, right? And everybody alive has fallen or seen themselves falling into a pattern. So don't let anybody tell you any different because that's BS. We all have those things, right? But you're fixing them. You're working on letting them go. And it's like the reason this person is, my God, I don't know what is going on, but the draw, it's almost like you feeling like you could collapse into this person, but not because you're being brought to your knees, more because you're letting go of so many things. And it's like that soul urge to be free, it's like you can see it in them and like your soul wants it. So you're being drawn to this person quite strongly. It feels like the type of people where it's like two really self-aware, how do I say this? People get together. It's like the epitome of two people who like just don't get too choked up about stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, and if other people get choked up, then like, okay. And it's not that you're being cruel or unemotional or unempathetic. You're just not going to take on the sorrow of other people's problems anymore. And I feel like, and in that, that's where the freedom lies for you. And now I want to be really clear. If you've been on the channel for a while, thank you. But you know that when I'm doing reads, sometimes I really get the emotions that the person or people I'm reading for, if those are really strong, then I feel those. But that doesn't mean that then I'm going to allow that to carry into the relationships around me. So I feel like it's the same type of deal. It's like, it doesn't mean that you don't understand other people's pain. It means that if someone else is in pain, it isn't going to hit you throughout the day repeatedly. It's not going to drag you down with that person. And I feel like it's almost like people that are like this one over here that kind of want problems. But it's like they want problems so other people can fix it for them. Or they're careless and make problems. Anyway, we talked about them enough. It feels like this type of person, you can pick them out of a crowd. Like you see them coming a mile away and it's like, and they come over and they want to pull that victim thing. And it's almost like you hear what they're saying, but the way that you respond tells them, it's almost like repellent to people like that, because they're not getting the response out of you that they want because you're free. So we're going to dive into this, this other person over here and you. So we have the Emperor with the Six of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. Whoops. Okay, so we're just going to put this person up here. Just going to actually kind of get them out of the way. So, here's the thing. This is absolutely adorable energy. You might not think it is, but I do. I feel like you are doing your best to like keep your cool and not pretend that you're too into this person, so on and so forth, but you're kind of like, oh my gosh, this person's awesome. It's that energy of finding somebody that that it's like you kind of may have got to a point where you didn't really expect to find anybody like that. And here they kind of come, and so it's like it feels like it's twofold. It's like, number one, you're not trying to put all your hopes and dreams on one person, right? And not put, like, you are mindful to not put this person up on a pedestal so that when they, when there's certain things about them that you don't like, so on and so forth, because that happens with everybody, right? That it's not this like fall from grace for them, that you haven't idolized them. But I feel like on the flip side, it's starting to feel like, oh my gosh, maybe this is what I've been waiting for. But kudos to you, Gemini, because it actually, from what I'm seeing, it looks like you're doing a really good job of staying balanced. It looks like you're doing a really good job of not running into it too quickly. And I feel like your approach to this relationship, in that you don't rush it, or whatever works for the two of you, it feels like this person may be somebody that doesn't get interested in a whole lot of people. But because your energy is, number one, a match, and number two, that you have this a little bit of like an elusive air about you. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. If you think that they can't feel your energy towards them, you're wrong. And I feel like for those of you that that's resonating for, it's almost like you get this huge grin, because you know dang well what the cards are talking about when they say that. So they definitely feel that energy. And I feel like the fact that you are not like fawning over them, they actually find that very attractive, because that shows them that you have this self-control that the cards have been talking about. Hold on for a sec. It feels like it's the kind of connection that it doesn't kind of start off with a bang. It feels like it's something where it's like the two of you will maybe have a little conversation here and there. But I feel like there's a certain element of freedom and liberation that this person and you both require. It's almost the energy of like, let's say you're in a coffee shop and you're having a coffee with your friend and they leave and this person comes and sits down. But it's like the person you were there with originally, like just a friend or whatever, they're just in the bathroom, and it's like this one comes over and like they'll just like, they might not even know you. They just sit down and start talking to you. And it's like maybe 5 minutes into the conversation, not even, they're like, okay, well, bye. And then they just leave and off they go. And there's something, it's like if before when that would happen, you'd kind of be like, oh, wait, I thought maybe we could, not that you would say that, but it would kind of be like, oh, that was weird. There's something about it that is, you feel differently about the situation than you would have before. It's almost like there's this unspoken energy between the two of you that seems to really work because it doesn't have, like, you're not putting a lot of expectation on it. Doesn't mean that you don't have standards and so on and so forth. It just, there isn't anything that you're expecting out of it. And that seems to be, it seems to really like put you on a good path, almost like center you. So I think I'll leave it there, Gemini. If this reading resonated, I hope it was helpful. If you liked the reading, please like, comment, subscribe. It really does help the channel. And keep an eye out for the singles reading next week. I'm looking forward to those. So hopefully we'll see you there. And we'll catch you on the next one. Much love. Bye.